Good morning, Liberty High School. Today is Monday, February 2nd, and I'm Kelly Sweetland.
And I'm Tim Fritzen. President Bush's No Child Left Behind Act is having a major impact on education nationwide. We'll bring you an in-depth look at this area of concern later in the broadcast, so stay with us. Your KLHS TV News is up next.
First, our top story. In January 2002, President Bush signed into law what has become known as the No Child Left Behind Act and represents the most sweeping changes in federal law regarding public schools in nearly 40 years.
That's right, Kelly. The No Child Left Behind law includes new accountability measures for all public schools. Jeremy Hostin, Ryan Miller, and I spoke with district officials about how this law affects Liberty schools.
With the rush of headlines showing Liberty and many neighboring schools failing by standards, Liberty administrators are looking at shortcomings in the well-intended No Child Left Behind Act and ways to improve district-wide.
What it does is require testing in reading and mathematics in certain grade levels throughout the school district, and not only does it track the scores for those students that take the test, but it breaks students down into subgroups.
Failure by any one subgroup to meet AYP or adequate yearly progress requirements on mathematics and communication arts tests results in a failing grade by national standards.
The way you meet adequate yearly progress is through the state assessment, which for us is called the MAP. And we look at schools as a whole, we look at districts as a whole, but we also are required because of the law to look at these different subgroups.
And one of the flaws in the legislation is that each state was allowed to set their own standard for proficiency. In Missouri, we set the bar high. We fell behind in certain subgroups. Continue to work hard to ensure student performance, student achievement, and we have a great school district, and I think that's the message that parents and students need to know.
As this year's round of testing quickly approaches, Liberty is working hard to make sure that no child is left behind. For KLPS Channel 18 News, this has been Ryan Miller, Jeremy Hostin, and Tim Fritzen.
Students participating in A+ tutoring need to turn in their timesheets to Ms. Hart in guidance. Supervising teachers must have signed these timesheets. Key Club is sponsoring Have a Heart this week to benefit the Children's Miracle Network. Students who donate money to this fundraiser at lunch will have their names and the amount they donated put on a heart, which will then be posted in the Commons. Have a heart and help a child in need.
In news from the Guidance Department, new applications for the following scholarships are now available in the guidance area and must be returned there after completion. Here are the new scholarships available. Maple Woods Community College, the Superintendent's Leadership Grant will pay for 30 hours of coursework at Maple Woods starting this summer. LHS's own Blue Jay Junction Preschool offers invaluable hands-on experience for members of the Child Development class. These 3- and 4-year-old students offer LHS students the chance to teach as well as learn. Olivia Crawford and Kelly Sweetland bring us a look at this unique offering.
6 years ago at Liberty High School, a preschool was started called Blue Jay Junction. Children who have family working in the Liberty School District are allowed to attend the preschool.
Anybody that works in the Liberty public school system. So I've got teacher kids and bus drivers and secretaries. I've got grandchildren of a secretary. So if you're related and you've got children 3, 4, and 5 years old and work in the system, you can bring them.
Miss Megan De Leonardo has been teaching for 14 years, this being her 3rd year at Blue Jay Junction. However, Miss Winters was the one who started this preschool.
Mrs. Winter, I believe, wrote a grant. She wanted it for the child growth and development classes to be able to observe. It's kind of like a live lab, so they can come in here and get some hands-on experience and watch children in their developmental.
One of the students told us what she thought was the 3 main activities they did throughout the day.
We make crafts.
Look
at mine.
Put those on.
And we eat lunch. And we play.
Not only do they make crafts, eat lunch, and play, the kids at Blue Jay Junction are learning a lot.
We have social time, because that's a big deal in kindergarten. That's about 90% of it, actually. And then we have our curriculum time. We do a lot of reading, and we work on our alphabet and our numbers and writing and color recognition and shape recognition. We do all that.
Not only is Blue Jay Junction good for the parents, but the students also had good things to say.
I like reading books. Well, I really like it when I play with Play-Doh. I play. So I like making pictures and envelopes for my mom. I like teachers because my brain thinks about.
Along with Kelly Sweetland, this has been Olivia Crawford for KLPS Channel 18. Bye!
Bye.
Exit 16 will perform tomorrow night at 7 o'clock at South Valley Middle School. Tickets are on sale at lunch for $3. Tickets at the door will be $5. Come on out and laugh. Members of Miss Fowler's housing class, don't forget that your designer show house field trip is today.
A hot topic that seems to be perpetuated by those in the media is that of violence and how it affects today's youth. Some experts claim that song lyrics promoting violence cause teens to become violent, while others feel that scenes in movies cause violence. Reporter Brian McAllister brings us a look at violent video games and their effects on students.
I'm gonna run for it.
Nothing out of the ordinary said there as Raylo plays his brother Brock in a game of Halo, a video game in which you play as a Master Chief to save the world from the evil Covenant. The game offers a very fun multiplayer mode in which the boys enjoy playing with friends along with other games.
I like video games because they're really fun. They're fun to play with your friends.
But recently, companies such as Ubisoft, Konami, Atari, and Rockstar Games have been putting out some pretty violent titles such as Max Payne 2, Unreal Tournament, Grand Theft Auto Vice City, Ghost Recon Island Thunder, and Metal Gear Solid 2. These titles have been pushing the line on what is acceptable to be in a video game. But do video games actually make kids more violent? We sat down with the school psychologist Miss Chris Cook to find out more on this touchy subject.
Well, there's research that suggests that it does. Number one, in the violent video games, there's a lot of exposure to violence with kids that are passive through television, but the video games, they're actually participating and rehearsing the violent acts. So some of it's that, just having that exposure and the rehearsal of the acts. When kids are exposed to that violence ad nauseum, they become kind of numb to it. Nothing's shocking. It's almost normalized. And that can impact kids' reactions to different situations, like no big deal. And again, it becomes more normal to have violence be such an intricate part of their lives.
Yes, friend.
Another thing to take into consideration when dealing with video games would be the maturity level of the person playing the game.
Probably one of the biggest things is that if you can participate and recognize the difference between fantasy and reality. You know, there's some people that they can function very well, but still kind of hard time separating reality from fantasy. You know, it can negatively impact a 25-year-old just as much as it can a 13-year-old. It's like with anything, you just want to make it within reason. If that's all they're doing, that's a problem.
We asked teachers and students here at LHS if they thought video games had a bad impact on children today.
I think in some cases it can, because like little kids think it's really cool that the video games, they can do all these cool things.
Too often in our society people look for reasons why they do things rather than taking responsibility for their own actions.
I hate how people try and relate video games and violence, because people that play video games aren't violent people, but it's just pretty much based on how you were raised and what you're surrounded by.
With video game violence still being a hot topic to talk about, I'm going to leave it up to you to decide whether or not video games are to play. This has been Brian McAllister reporting.
Thanks, Brian. Video games are becoming an increasingly popular way for students to spend their time, especially on snow days, kind of like we thought we'd get today, but Gabi, the snow just didn't fall as expected.
Well, Tim, I hope I didn't jinx the system by predicting 6 to 10 inches of snow for today, and then we only get 1.5, which isn't quite enough to call it a snow day. However, we do have a front moving into the Kansas City area on Wednesday. Taking a look at the map, there is a front southwest of our area heading north to northeast. Now, sometime by Wednesday, this should bring some mild winter weather. What's happening is that the abundant moisture streaming from the Gulf is now interacting with cold air, causing none other than precipitation. But before we can get to the snow, let's look at our current conditions. Right now it is 28 degrees outside, and for today, expect sunny skies with a high of 33 and a low of 20. For tomorrow, there is an 80% chance for snow, and beginning around noon, the first flakes should begin to fall. Expect these light flurries to continue all afternoon, slowing a little in the evening. Now, the total snow accumulation should only reach about 1 inch throughout the Kansas City area. So for Wednesday, expect a high around 27 and a low near 21. And luckily, the wind is directed from the east, so we are spared the bitter wind chill from the north that we did experience last week. So we're expecting some snow tomorrow, but what about the rest of the week? Looking at our 5-day trend, we see that the snow shower should continue into Thursday morning, with the front dissipating in the early afternoon. And then for Friday, although the snow is gone, the overcast skies still stick around, leaving us with cool weather, but nothing too frigid. Like I said, expect a few flakes for tomorrow, just a gentle dusting, and after this front passes eastward, skies should remain gloomy, but expect a little bit of sunshine to peek out for this weekend. That's all I have for weather. Kelly, back to you.
Well, it sounds as if William Jewell College will have some blue on their athletic fields next year. With more, here's Joe Machavecchio.
Hi everyone. Yes, large group instruction room, Liberty Athletic Director Steve Butler needed to and then introduce Blue Jay athletes signing to play college athletics. A total of 10 male and female athletes signed national letters of intent to play their respective sport at the next level. Highlighting this year's class include Jamie Adams, who will attend Southwest Missouri State University next year on a volleyball scholarship, and Brian Graybill, who is set to run cross country at the University of Missouri.
I really did have a lot of options on what I could do, and I had a few big choices to make, but I feel really good about my decision, and I really think this is going to be great next year. I'm just looking forward to it.
A total of 5 LHS seniors will stay in their hometown of Liberty to compete for William Jewell College. Included in the list are Blake Kramer, Blake Woolard, and Matt Calloway, who will play on the Cardinal football team. Abby Grimm signs for the tennis team, and Kevin Nakuda will play for the nationally ranked soccer team.
It was quite a decision to make. It's been many months of kind of just painstaking work, and after I got everything out on the table, I went through it all and decided that William Jewell was by far my best choice that I could make.
I really thought I'd be nervous today, but it turns out I wasn't, and I think the reason for that is I knew this was the right, along in my heart. I had some schools, some different things coming down the line, and this turned out to be the right decision. I kind of knew that because I didn't have those butterflies in my stomach when I went up on stage.
Also signing Wednesday were golfer Jennifer Sterneker, who will look to make birdies at Truman State in Kirksville. Lauren Lakebrink is set to play softball at Northwest Missouri State University, and Cody Alexander signed to play football at Augustana College. It was all good news coming from the Blue Jay Sports Department last night as the women's basketball team kept rolling while the wrestlers had a strong showing in the Liberty Invitational. First to North Kansas City High School, where the Lady Jays had an easy time with Excelsior Springs in the first round of the Northtown tournament. Here you see Jamie Adams get 2 of her game-high 20 points to lead all scorers. Liberty would go on to the 64-23 win and now advance to the semifinals and face off with St. Pius Thursday night. Meanwhile, the wrestlers took home 4 individual titles from the second annual Liberty Invitational, while also taking second place as a team. Champions crowned for the good guys included Deron Wynn, Matt Biley, James Van Zant, and Brett Marshall. My time is up here. Let's send it back to Tim and Kelly.
Thanks, Joe. Today's student of the day lists her favorite Crayola crayon color as Tickle Me Pink, her favorite animal as a penguin, and her favorite breakfast food as Lucky Charms.
Congratulations, Christine Miranda. You are our student of the day. Enjoy your free lunch.
Well, that wraps it up for today's show. Stay tuned. Your CNN Student News is up next. We'll see you right back here tomorrow.